How Princess Leonor is being trained to rule Spain. In the autumn of 2023, Spain witnessed a moment that was easy to recognize but harder to fully understand. In the chamber of the Congress of Deputies, Princess Leonor stood before the nation's elected representatives and swore loyalty to the Spanish Constitution. The ceremony was formal, brief, and carefully structured. What mattered was not emotion or spectacle, but institutional meaning. With that oath, Spain's heir formally entered a new phase of constitutional responsibility. Many people see this moment as symbolic. Fewer understand that it represents years of deliberate preparation, and the beginning of an even more structured process. By the end of this video, you'll understand how Princess Leonor is being trained to rule Spain, not as a political leader, but as a constitutional head of state shaped by law, education, and modern expectations of monarchy. To understand that training, we first need to be clear about what ruling means in Spain today. Spain is a parliamentary constitutional monarchy. The monarch does not govern, propose laws, or direct policy. Those powers belong to elected institutions. Instead, the monarch serves as head of state, a role defined by representation, continuity, and constitutional symbolism. The king or queen embodies the permanence of the state while remaining politically neutral. This distinction shapes every aspect of how an heir is prepared. Princess Leonor's training is therefore not about power, but about responsibility. It is not designed to produce a decision-maker, but a constitutional reference point. Her preparation reflects a broader European model in which monarchy survives not through authority, but through credibility, restraint, and institutional literacy. Everything that follows, from education to military training, flows from that central idea. From the moment of her birth in 2005, Princess Leonor's position was defined by constitutional law. As the first child of King Felipe VI, and later his eldest child with no brothers, she became first in line to the throne. This status is not symbolic or provisional. It is established by Article 57 of the Spanish Constitution. That legal certainty is one reason her upbringing has been carefully shielded from excessive public exposure. In modern constitutional monarchies, legitimacy is built gradually, not through constant visibility. Her early years were marked by a deliberate balance. She appeared at major state occasions, but always alongside her parents and without individual prominence. The goal was familiarity without personalization. This approach reflects lessons learned across Europe. An heir must be known, but not turned into a public figure detached from institutional purpose. Training begins not with instruction, but with environment. As she grew older, that environment became more structured. Education plays a central role in preparing a future monarch, and in Spain, it is shaped by constitutional priorities. Princess Leonor's schooling has included a broad academic curriculum, combining humanities, sciences, and languages. This breadth is intentional. A constitutional monarch must understand society as a whole rather than specialize in any single discipline. Language education, in particular, carries institutional weight. Spain is a multilingual country with strong regional identities. Sensitivity to that diversity is essential for national cohesion. Princess Leonor has been educated in Spanish and English and has studied additional languages as part of her preparation. This is not simply about international representation. It reflects an understanding that the monarch must be able to communicate across cultural and regional boundaries at home and abroad. Her first solo public speech, delivered at the Princess of Asturias Awards in 2019, marked a turning point. The address was measured, formal, and focused on shared civic values. From an institutional perspective, this moment demonstrated a key element of royal training: public communication without personalization. The speech did not express individual opinions or ambitions. It reinforced continuity, cultural recognition, and respect for collective achievement. Moments like this are often interpreted as milestones, but their deeper significance lies in repetition. Training a future monarch is cumulative. Each appearance reinforces patterns of conduct, neutrality, clarity, and restraint. Over time, these patterns become expectations, both for the public and for the institution itself. When King Felipe VI ascended the throne in 2014, Princess Leonor became Princess of Asturias, the traditional title of the Spanish heir. This was more than a ceremonial change. It marked the formal beginning of her role as a constitutional figure in her own right. From that point forward, her public schedule gradually expanded, always within clear limits. Each engagement was chosen for institutional relevance rather than personal visibility. A critical element of her training is constitutional literacy. The Spanish monarch plays a defined role in the constitutional order, including sanctioning laws, accrediting ambassadors, and symbolically representing national unity. Understanding the limits of these functions is as important as understanding their form. Princess Leonor's education includes instruction in Spanish history, constitutional law, and civic institutions, ensuring that her future role is grounded in knowledge rather than tradition alone. This emphasis on limits reflects a broader evolution in monarchy. In earlier centuries, royal authority was expansive and personal. In modern Spain, it is constrained and institutional. Training an heir today means ensuring that they understand what they cannot do as clearly as what they can. This principle underpins the monarchy's democratic legitimacy. Her coming of age in 2023 marked another decisive stage. Upon turning 18, Princess Leonor was required to swear an oath to uphold the Constitution. This act formalized her status as heir and her commitment to the constitutional framework. The setting, Spain's parliament, was deliberate. It emphasized that the monarchy operates within democratic institutions, not above them. This moment also initiated a new phase of preparation, military training. Like her father before her, Princess Leonor began formal education across the branches of the armed forces. This aspect of royal training is often misunderstood. The monarch does not exercise operational command. Instead, military training provides institutional familiarity. As symbolic commander-in-chief, the monarch must understand the structure, values, and responsibilities of the armed forces. Military education also reinforces a broader concept central to modern monarchy: service. Training alongside other cadets emphasizes discipline, hierarchy, and shared responsibility. It situates the future monarch within national institutions rather than apart from them. Similar models exist in other European monarchies, including the Netherlands, Belgium, and Norway, where heirs undergo comparable preparation. Throughout this process, public communication remains carefully managed. Official statements focus on schedules, institutions, and roles. Personal narratives are avoided. This reflects a strategic choice. In constitutional monarchies, personalization can undermine neutrality. Training includes learning when not to speak, when to remain symbolic, and when to let institutions take precedence. Comparative perspective helps clarify this approach. Across Europe, monarchies that have maintained relevance share common traits: transparency without intrusion, preparation without spectacle, and continuity without stagnation. Princess Leonor's training aligns closely with these patterns. It reflects lessons learned over decades about what sustains public trust. Gender is also part of this institutional context. While Spain has not amended its succession laws to eliminate male preference entirely, the reality of a female heir has been broadly accepted. Princess Leonor's training does not emphasize novelty. It emphasizes normality. This framing reinforces stability, presenting her future role as a continuation of constitutional practice rather than a departure from it. As her preparation continues, her public role will expand gradually. State visits, official ceremonies, and institutional engagements will become more frequent. Each will follow established protocols designed to reinforce continuity. There is no expectation of sudden transformation. In constitutional monarchy, predictability is a virtue. What becomes clear when examining Princess Leonor's training is that it is less about preparing an individual than about sustaining an institution. The monarchy's survival depends on its ability to adapt while remaining anchored in constitutional norms. Training an heir is therefore as much about protecting the system as it is about educating the person. Looking ahead, Princess Leonor's eventual accession will follow constitutional procedure. When that moment arrives, it will represent the transfer of symbolic responsibility within a stable democratic framework. The emphasis will not be on change, but on continuity, a hallmark of successful constitutional monarchies. The broader lesson here is about leadership. In systems where power is limited, leadership is expressed through conduct, understanding, and restraint. Princess Leonor's training illustrates how these qualities are cultivated deliberately over time. Preparation replaces improvisation. Institution replaces personality. The analytical takeaway is clear. Princess Leonor is being trained to rule Spain not by learning to govern, but by learning to represent, unify, and uphold constitutional values. Her education, public role, and institutional preparation reflect a modern understanding of monarchy as service rather than authority. And in reflecting on this process, one calm conclusion emerges. The strength of a constitutional monarchy lies not in ceremony or tradition alone, but in the careful, often quiet work of preparation that ensures continuity across generations. Princess Leonor's training offers a clear example of how that continuity is built, step by step, within the framework of democratic responsibility. Only 1 in 10 viewers here is subscribed. If you value thoughtful insights into royalty and leadership, join the community.